Good afternoon, grade 9. Welcome to this revision class of communication skills. I hope that you benefited from the other classes that we had and the videos that we watched. Today we are still continuing with the revision of communication skills. We are concentrating on orthographic projection. We are going to look at the planes, simple and complex drawings, and we are going to do a little bit of drawing assessment. The skills that we are learning here are supposed to be practical, but now because we are learning online, we would strongly advise you to get the instruments that we have shown you in the other lessons, so that you get good practice at home. Please look carefully at the skills and the questions that you may pose here, because those may appear in your assessment. Just to recap, yesterday we looked at the ramp and the staircase, and we looked at the uses of the ramp. We agreed that the ramp has more uses than the one of disabled people with wheelchairs. As we see, the fellow there is pushing the shopping trolley up the ramp, which would otherwise be difficult to push up the stairs. And if you can remember, what other uses of the ramp did you mention yesterday? Hey, Emmanuel, welcome. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I'm looking for the answers to the question, what other uses do we have for the ramp? You can think, who else may want to use the ramp except for people with wheelchairs? Yes, Unkabetsi. The people with wheelchairs, they do use the ramp. And as the picture suggests, the fellow with the trolley, he also uses the ramp. Just one other person who can use the ramp. We made mention of a mother who's pushing a pram with baby. It might be difficult for a mother, for instance, to push the pram up the staircase, but the ramp makes the shop accessible to the mother. So this ramp, it makes the shop accessible. Not only a shop, it makes buildings accessible. Elderly people who find it very hard for their knees to go up a staircase, they can use the ramp. All right, people with crutches, yes, maybe a person with a broken leg with plaster of Paris might find it very hard to go up the staircase. So let us look at this ramp, because in grade 9, we are required to look at the ramp and the staircase. We made this drawing yesterday, remember? This is an example of changing the isometric drawing. This is an oblique drawing, okay? But you change that to a two-dimensional. You change this three-dimensional to a two-dimensional drawing. This three-dimensional, you look at the dimensions that you're going to fit here. So in first angle orthographic projection, we take a three-dimensional object and we draw the dimensions in 2D on these spaces. This is the top view, this is the front view, and the left view. And this is a plan for first angle orthographic projection. But now we have to see, where did we get the concept of first angle orthographic projection? Okay, we got this illustration from slideplayer.com. Now, in grade 9, we learn only the first angle orthographic projection. But where does it come from? All right, in drawing, we learn about planes. Okay, when we look at these planes, we have different types of planes for drawing. We have this horizontal plane. We have this horizontal plane. And we have this vertical plane. So where they intersect, okay? Just imagine if this horizontal plane cuts across the vertical plane, okay? So it makes a cross here because this horizontal plane cuts across the vertical plane. Then it gives us 4 angles, right? We have the first angle, you see, it must give us a right angle. We have the first angle, the second angle, the third angle, and the fourth angle. So in orthographic projection, we draw objects in the first angle and the third angle, okay? In the first angle, we have this horizontal plane and the vertical plane, and this is the profile plane. So there's the object that we are drawing. The object that you are drawing in the first angle, we see 3 dimensions to that. We see the front, the top, and the side. Okay? So that is the concept from which first angle orthographic projection is derived. But in the third angle orthographic projection, which you don't do in GET, you will do as you learn technology further. It is based on the third angle. The third angle orthographic projection will be this angle. Okay, so you'll be drawing your from these planes. But for now, this is what we are learning, the first angle orthographic projection. I see I lost you. I'm sorry, I'm back now. Okay. So we were discussing, I hope you heard my explanation of the planes. Okay, I hope you understand from where we come from when we say we are doing first angle orthographic projection in grade 9. There is another type of projection, which is the third angle. Okay, my network was bad too, and I lost connection, but I'm back now. I hope I can connect the lesson fine. I hope I can connect the lesson well. Okay, now, this first angle orthographic projection comes from this plane. So that is why what we are drawing in first angle orthographic projection in grade 9, it is based on the concept that our object that we are drawing is sitting on these planes, okay? These planes here. But what they are drawing further on in further studying third angle orthographic projection, it is these planes that they are dealing with. Okay, I hope you all could hear me now. Now, the drawing that we have studied so far, we looked at shading, rendering yesterday in the other lessons. We draw objects in grade 9. We draw objects, we have learned how to draw the isometric view, okay? That is 3-dimensional. We can do this drawing. We are developing ideas, sketching. We also do freehand sketching in our design stage of the technological process. But when we are presenting to the client what we are going to make as a solution, we try to make it realistic. We try to make it realistic to give it some texture and rendering. We apply shading, okay? We apply texturing so that the client can see what the solution will look like. But when we are planning, this is actually a plan. This normally comes with the working drawing, the orthographic views. It comes with the working drawing. When you have developed the idea, when the idea is developed, this is where you communicate what the actual plan to make that product will be. Or you can start here. You can start here, maybe because we said the technological process is not linear. You can start here to say, I want something that will be laid out like this. Then you draw it in 3D, then you give it more meaning by rendering. Rendering is using shading and texture. This is a skill that you develop with time. You have to show when you're rendering, you have to show where the light is and where the shade is, okay? And you do that by an application of shading. This is darker and it suggests that there is shade on this side, and this is light, it suggests that light is coming on this side. Now, that gives the client a good, realistic view of the product that is going to be made. Maybe you may look at the template for a orthographic drawing that I shared with you earlier. It has the space on this side that is used for protecting the side view. But this is still another example of first angle orthographic drawing. In orthographic drawing, we have symbols. I have shown you the planes. You now know that we have first angle orthographic projection that comes from the first angle of the planes where they cut across each other. Okay, we have the first angle. This is the symbol for first angle orthographic projection. So whenever you see an orthographic projection and you're not sure if it's first angle or third angle, you look at the symbol that you find on the drawing. And also, when you are required in an assessment to draw first angle, you draw your drawing and then you add this symbol to show that your drawing is in first angle orthographic projection. Now, this one, the symbol below, this one, it is one of third angle orthographic projection. You can just know it, but we will not go into the details of third angle orthographic projection. We are dealing only with this symbol. We are dealing with only this symbol. So when you are asked to draw a 3D object, when you are asked to draw it in first angle orthographic, or in grade 9, when you are just asked to draw a 3D symbol in orthographic projection, you are going to use this symbol on your drawing to show that this is first angle orthographic projection. Please don't forget that. Okay, it's very important for you in grade 9. This is the symbol that you are dealing with at this level. Now, we are studying the staircase. Okay, this is a drawing of a simple staircase in first angle orthographic projection. Okay, I have shown you the plan for first angle orthographic projection. All right, now this is another form of orthographic projection that I want you to interpret correctly. Remember, we said here is the top view. We draw the top view here. When you see a drawing like this, which says plan, this is the is also called the plan view or the plane. And then up here is your front view. So it is also called front elevation. You will know that that is the front view. This side is side view, okay? It is also called end elevation. Okay, it is first angle orthographic projection. You must never be confused when you see it. So let us look at this. This is a 3D isometric staircase with 2 steps. The top view is this one, as you can see. Dimensions, also look at the dimensioning. because you need, you need to use the correct dimensioning. Remember, in the other lessons, I always stress the dimensioning. These are the dimensioning lines, these, okay? Look at the measurement that is written on this side, on top of the arrow, every time on top of the arrow. Now, when you draw it here, you also use alignment. These are the lines that they are projection lines. They align your plan and your front, your top view and your front correctly, so that it is clear that the lines, this is the front. Normally, in an assessment, there will be an arrow showing you which is the front. That is best, because you as the candidate will not be confused where you are going to write the front, to draw the front. So in this drawing, the arrow would be here, showing you that this is the front. So this is the front. It has this line and that line and that line. So these are the lines. But it should be properly aligned to the top view. So you're going to draw these construction lines here to show that there is proper alignment. This line should be properly aligned to this one. So you're going to draw these construction lines like that to show that you are aligning the edges. And also here, there is a line here. There is a line here. You are going to properly align it. Okay? You are aligning the side. Okay? Which they call now the end elevation. Okay. The side view is this one. So what do you see here? You see this part and that part. And in between, there is a line. So there's the line. So this line here is solid, but this one is for alignment. Because there's an edge here, this corner, it must be properly aligned here. So your assessor will be looking at proper alignment. They will be looking at the fact that you have put the dimensions where they are supposed to be. This is the top, the front, and the side. Okay. Now, remember this one I gave you in another lesson. This staircase, it is taken from your Sasol Inzalo workbooks. In your learner's book, you have this task that you must draw this staircase on this grid. Sometimes you are required to draw on the grid. And as I have said in the other lessons, you use the square grid to draw your orthographic projection. In the previous lesson, I only showed you this worksheet where you are supposed to draw this staircase on this grid. So I have brought it back here. This is a response. I've brought it back here so that you can see how you must do it in your assessment when you are required to draw this staircase on the grid. Right, I want you to look at the alignment. This is the top view. This is the top view. In the other slide, it was called what? The top view or what? What is another name for the top view? My grade 9s. What is another name for the top view? It is the plan. It is the plan. Okay? So this is the top view. This is the front view. And this is the side view. Now, on top, what do we see on this staircase? This one has 3 steps. So on top we see 1, 2, 3 yellow rectangles. So you are going to draw them here. And the squares are guiding you in terms of the size. So if you are given a measurement in the dimensioning of your staircase, you are going to use these squares of the grid as a guide for your measurement. Now, this is the top view with 3 blocks. The front view, in front, the person would see 1, 2, 3. So there's 1, 2, 3. Okay, it actually appears on the worksheet. So the candidate only has to draw the top view and the side view. But I want us to come here now. I want us to come here. I want you to see how the side view is projected from the front view and the top view. Now, this brings us to this line. This brings us to this line. I want to see where I'm clicking or I'm back. So, remember, I said you must divide your paper into 4. So you have divided your grid into 4. You have your vertical axis and your horizontal axis, and they intersect here. So you are going to have another projection line at an angle of 45 degrees, okay? There it goes across like this. You draw it as a construction line on the grid. Now you want to project the side view from the top view and the front view. You must check. There is a line that goes from the top view. You make a construction line, and then it is stopped here on the projection line, okay? You make a construction line here, and another line. You keep extending these lines of the top view, and they stop here, right? You draw another line, a construction line, it is stopped on this diagonal line. Now, remember, you have aligned the front view and the side view. So, you will start to raise this line, align it correctly straight up to this line where the front view must start aligning to the side view. So you will raise these lines up to this level. You raise them up, they are construction lines. You raise them up, construction lines. You do the same, this side, you raise it up, okay? We want to project the side view from these 2 views. You don't just draw it like this. You will project it when you follow me step by step. Now, when you are at this level, you have raised these lines. They've come up, they are construction lines. You have raised them to this level. And then you draw a solid line here. You see that the base of this side view is aligned to the front view. And then you will look at the measurement of each step. So this line You see, we are aligning it to this step. So we know from this line that the first step, the bottom step, will be aligned to the first line of the front view. So you make another construction line there, it goes. When it comes here, when it comes to this line, then you make it solid right to this one that is at the end. You go to the next level. You do the same. You draw a construction line for proper alignment. Then when you come here where this line intersects with this one, you make your line solid, you make another step. Then you make it solid, then it intersects with the one that comes from down here. You do the same for the top step. There's a construction line. Then it becomes solid here where it intersects with this line. Then you have your steps. So when you have mastered the art, the skill of orthographic projection, in first angle orthographic projection, you will be able to project the side view from the top view. You don't just draw it. I know when the drawing is complete like this, you will think that, oh, I just draw the top view, the front view, and the side view. Actually, you draw the top view and the front view, and then you show how you have projected the side view from the top and front view using what? Using this diagonal line here. So if you are in class, your teacher would be monitoring you. Your teacher would be monitoring you to see the progress of the projection of the side view from the top view, and the front view. So after you have done your assessment, after you have written, when you are submitting your drawing, because the examiner didn't see you while you were drawing, the examiner will be shown by these projection lines, these construction lines. So you will not erase on your drawing, you leave them as they are, because they are showing how the side view was projected from the front view and the top view. You can do this even without the grid. When you have divided your paper into 4 and you have left a 1 centimeter or 10 millimeter line, and you drew another line on both sides of the vertical and the horizontal axis, and then you draw this diagonal line at an angle of 45 degrees, then that makes it possible for you to project the side view from the top view and the front view. Okay, please do practice this. Okay. Right, the combined staircase and ramp. You are learning a little bit complex drawings now, because you have done the staircase separately, but how do you draw the staircase and the ramp, the combined staircase and ramp? Now, if you look at your workbook, you do have this task, the specifications for staircase and wheelchair ramp. Okay, these are the specifications. These are the specifications. The stairs and ramp must be made in 1 unit so that it can be moved. Okay, it's unlike in that building when you have where you have one side staircase and the other side ramp. But in this case, the requirement is that they must be in 1 unit. so that it can be moved. The unit should fit in front of the stage so that people can walk onto the stage and wheelchairs can go down. The stage is 400 millimeters high. The stairs should be wide enough for 2 people, about 1,200 millimeters. There should be 3 steps of the same size. The flat part of each step is 800 millimeters long. The ramp should be wide enough for 1 wheelchair, 1,000 millimeters. Okay, I'm sorry about that alarm. It goes off in this center every time at this time. Okay. The slope of the ramp should be 2,433 millimeters long. We are using millimeters because we want to be accurate, remember? The ramp is at a 10 degrees slope. The base of the ramp should be 2,400 millimeters long. The ramp should have a handrail to prevent the wheelchairs from falling off. These are the specifications in your workbook. Now let us see how you can approach that. So one learner made this drawing, okay, of a combined staircase and ramp, okay? It is used for the stage as the specifications said. Okay, let us see how you can draw this, how you can draw the combined staircase and ramp in first angle orthographic projection. So you are using the grid, all right? This is the solution, okay? If you can check, this solution has dimensions also. The specifications did have dimensions. Now, if you look here, you have that diagonal line also drawn, okay? But this diagonal line is not drawn. Be careful when you are using A4 pages. Don't be tempted to take this line, this diagonal line. Don't be tempted to take it, this diagonal line. Don't be tempted to take it to this corner, because you can find that it is probably not 45 degrees, okay? So this one is making her drawing to be not full, she's not taking the full page of the grid, but this line is very important for proper projection here. Okay, so as you can see the line for the ramp there, and you can see the lines for the steps. And what is interesting about this side is that it is projected from this side. You can see the projection lines going up, okay, as I explained in the other grid. There you have your projection lines. So this line is actually there for you to project correctly, okay? Because if you miss any measurement on this side, so your projection will tell, your projection this side will follow the measurement that you started on this side and that side. Okay, so that is how you will be drawing your staircase and ramp combined. It's a little bit complex. So today we wanted to show you more complex orthographic drawings that you may be required to learn and to do in your assessments. And besides the dimensioning, as you can see, the drawing does also have the dimensions, because the specifications and the instructions, they did have the dimensions. And it also has a scale. Okay, remember in the other lessons, we said the purpose of the scale is to show what each measurement on the drawing represents on the real object. So they said here the scale is 1:50. Okay, so 1 millimeter on the drawing represents 50 on the real object. So that is the drawing that is in response to the specifications that are given. And these are other complex drawings of orthographic projection where you will be drawing isometric or oblique objects, okay, that have some bends on them, and this one has a circle on it. So it becomes a little bit more complex. You have to show the circle. If you can look at this circle, it has a cross inside here to align properly with the center of this front view. Okay, and this top view. See, so that is this is supposed to be the side view. Okay, so I liked this one because it is a little bit complex with that center. And look at the alignment. Okay, you have your projection line there, and you project this side view from these two other views. Okay, so these lines, they go right to the center of the circle so that you produce this. You know that this is properly aligned. This is the base, it's properly aligned here, and you have this line there. Okay. These are other complex also. This is a very complex drawing with many twists and turns there. And there is the orthographic projection of that 3D object. Another one, although it doesn't show the alignment, but in grade 9, we'll learn the alignment. We learn how to project the side view from the top and the front view. Okay. In further classes, you will be required to remove the lines. Okay. You'll be required to move the construction lines. But in grade 9, we still keep the construction lines because we want to see how you projected the other views. Okay. Tomorrow, we will do the assessment on orthographic drawings. Okay. For today, that will be all. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.